There we go. Plenty of prep time. Prep time, prep time. Oh, we have our audience. Hola, Senor Pipi. Hola, Senorita. Anyway, welcome to Wonder After Dark. Previously on this show, we talked about My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Twice. It kind of bled into episode 2. Episode 2 then proceeded to be more of a filler episode with some other topics throughout. Tonight, I want to talk something in particular. You'll get why I have this out in a minute. We're going to talk... Nice shirt. Anyway, we're going to talk bad movies that I and others enjoy. Now, I'm not going to go in any real particular order. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm not going to go in like chronological release order, but I'm going to talk 2 types of bad movies. I'm going to talk movies that people say are bad that I don't see much of a problem with, and movies that I kind of know are a little poopy, but I still enjoy anyway. I'm going to start with movies that I don't see much of a problem with, though this one requires a little bit of background. So Indiana Jones is a franchise, as we all know. We all know the Indiana Jones franchise, don't we, boys and girls? Or boy and boy, rather. But anyway, I guess a little bit of background. There was one movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, which would later be retroactively retitled Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Critically acclaimed. Did really well. So much so that they did a sequel, Temple of Doom, followed by another sequel, The Last Crusade. And for a while, that was pretty much it. But then they did another one called Kingdom of the Crystal Skull many years later. That one was not well received. I don't recall if anyone outright hates it, but it wasn't really well received. And for a while, that was pretty much the end of the story. I mean, clearly, when they released a Blu-ray set called The Complete Adventures. But of course, this was one of those sets that would become outdated within a year, because Disney soon after announced they were making more Indiana Jones. And after many delays, and I do mean many delays, in 2023, that movie finally released. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, this might come as a disappointment to many of you, but this was actually the first Indiana Jones movie that I saw start to finish. I heard many bad things about it prior to watching it. I heard that it got mixed reviews when it released in theaters. I did not see it in theaters. I saw it on Disney+. What do I think of it? I don't think it's that bad. Everyone says either it's bad outright or that it's just not that good. I don't see the problems with it. I mean, I think it's a little long, but mind you, I've seen way longer, but I don't think it's that bad. You can, if you've seen the movie, you can probably tell me what's wrong with it. But granted, I can't really find many issues with it. Which means, of course, it's a bad movie that I enjoy by default, because I'm kind of oblivious to what makes it so bad. But yeah. Although I do know it must have been pretty bad. It's Spider-Man 3 is the most memorable to me and might be my favorite. Honestly, actually, I'll get to that. Let me just finish what I was saying originally. I'll get to that. But I do know, though, that Dial of Destiny really must not have been great when... Alright, let me just go on Wikipedia. I swear this is not going to be the Dial of Destiny special, but going to Wikipedia for this. Okay. The film had a budget of between 295 and 387 million and made 384 million worldwide. Now, to those of you who might be financially inept, that might not sound bad, but that's pretty bad. Because remember, that's worldwide. It didn't do too good. In fact, it says right here, the film received mixed reviews and grossed 384 million worldwide, becoming a box office flop due to a lack of wide audience appeal and becoming one of the most expensive movies ever made, with estimated losses of 143 million for Disney. Imagine losing 143 million on this. Disney, I have no disrespect to you guys, but what were you thinking? Oh yeah, I guess a good thing is that this was explicitly marketed as the last one. Which means, of course, they're going to reboot Indiana Jones in like 20 years with a hotter, gayer lead. Also, rather humorously, they have yet to release a complete collection with all 5 movies. So, I think that should tell you something. But yeah, there's a movie there's, I guess, a bad movie that I enjoy. But only because I'm oblivious to how bad it really is. Really, I don't even know what makes it bad because I can't fucking spot it. If you've seen it, you can probably tell me what's so bad. I personally cannot. Now, going back to what was said here, Spider-Man 3 is the most memorable to me and might be my favorite. That's an opinion you don't hear very often, but I can honestly see why. Sure, Spider-Man 3 is a bit cluttered, actually very cluttered, compared to the preceding 2 films. I have not seen an Indiana Jones movie. That doesn't really surprise me in all honesty, but I don't mean that as a bad thing. Anyway, but back to what I was just reading. Spider-Man 3 being your favorite and most memorable. Not an opinion that you hear super often, but an interesting opinion, and one that I actually quite respect, and kind of agree with. My favorite of the 3 would be Spider-Man 2, but I can see where the appreciation for Spider-Man 3 could come from. Well, actually, I do like the first one more. Well, I mean, yeah, but still, I can kind of see where some of the appreciation for Spider-Man 3 would come from. And I guess in a funny twist of fate, I guess it's a bad movie a lot of people like now, because over the last couple years, I've seen people kind of reappraise Spider-Man 3. It used to be seen as like the worst movie ever. Now I see some people kind of start to come around to it and realize it's not that bad. And honestly, I do agree. It really isn't that bad. I mean, it has some flaws, definitely, but really, I don't think there's truly a bad movie in that entire original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. They're all 3 good in different ways. And you're probably wondering, what about Spider-Man 2.1 or Spider-Man 3, the editor's cut? I haven't seen those. I've seen the theatrical cuts of all 3, but I have not seen 2.1 or 3, the editor's cut. Just do what you want with that knowledge. So yeah. I'm trying to think. Yes, I am aware that my brightness is like bright as hell, but another bad movie that actually, oh wait, what does this say? This is probably the most viciously hated film I actually like, The Nightmare on Elm Street, 2010. Get ready to be disappointed, audience. I have not seen a single Nightmare on Elm Street. Not a damn one of them. Haven't seen the original, haven't seen that one, haven't seen any of the sequels, haven't even seen Freddy vs. Jason, I just haven't seen any of those. Oh yeah, I know. Someone who's into just about everything that has not seen The Nightmare on Elm Street. That's impressive. You should be terrified. So yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. Haven't seen it, but yeah. Night Street on Elmo. Night Court. It's late. Okay, trying to think, what other bad movies? Trying to think of what else. Oh wait, the second and third most viciously hated films I like, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Hey, look, those are two movies I have seen, and I actually like them too. More so Batman and Robin than Batman Forever. I don't think Batman Forever is bad at all. I don't find it boring, but of the two, strangely, I find Batman and Robin more entertaining. Plus, I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it. Anything is better than The Flash. Yes, I am aware that I have a physical copy of The Flash in my possession, meaning that the movie was good enough for me to buy. But, listen, just because I bought a copy of it does not mean it's a good movie. A lot of movies I buy are bad. But I'm just saying, I'll take Batman and Robin any day of the week over The Flash. And The Flash also has George Clooney. It's funny how the world works. Also, there's your reminder that this is not a green screen. I know it may look like a green screen, but it isn't. So. Okay, what else? Oh. It's funny, I'm looking at an example. It's looking at an example down here. Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. Yeah, I like this one. I don't think it's great, but I like it. I like the direction they were going in and for, and with. Although I'm with everyone else. Oh wait, what does it say? You might be stunned by this. I like The Flash, and I don't think it's bad. I actually like it. I actually am a little surprised. I respect your opinion. Please elaborate further, however. Again, not going to flame you or anything. Just elaborate as to why you... Oh my god. Random chimp event. Take your time. I will talk about The Flash later. Speaking of Tim Burton, I love his Chocolate Factory and Alice in Wonderland films. Well, I guess I'll use that as a segue. But yeah, I like Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes quite a bit. I'm with everybody else, though. That ending is like, what the fuck? Like, I've tried to explain this movie's ending to myself. I still don't get it. I can try my hardest, nothing works. Although, speaking of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory from Tim Burton, I have seen that one. Yeah, I have seen Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I do really like it. Really, I like all three of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory adaptations. I like the Gene Wilder film, I like Johnny Depp, I like Timothée Chalamet. I really can't find much wrong with any of them. I just like all three of them equally. Yeah. As for Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, here's a surprising bit of news. I've actually seen that one. I haven't seen the original Alice in Wonderland, but I have seen Tim Burton's. Make what you want of that. Make what you want of that. You might either love the fact that I've seen that one, or you might hate it. Even if you clearly like that one, it might seem a little blasphemous that I've seen Tim Burton's but not the original. Or you might not bat an eye. I don't know. 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 Ay, Carly. Ay, caramba. Está sucio, cochino. Alright, what does it say? The Flash has good moments of action, like the opening and some of the creative powers and effects. I also like Supergirl and Ezra's performance. Okay, those are all pretty valid. I do think the CGI could have been a lot better, though. Like, oh god, that was rough. I've seen worse CGI, but good lord, why does everything in The Flash look like it's made of rubber? Everything in that movie looks like it's made of rubber. Oh, lordy. I will say, though, Warner Bros., could you, like, not do an AI CGI corpse of Christopher Reeve ever again? Like, I kind of like what you were... Yeah, I do agree. I kind of get what you were going for, trying to show different worlds there, but maybe don't puppeteer Christopher Reeve's corpse, please. Pretty please. Pretty please with a penis on top. Don't do that ever again. Oh my god. Yeah. Honestly, the DCEU was a mess. Every Adam Sandler movie. Pretty much. I'm one of those creeps that actually likes the majority of Adam Sandler's movies. In fact, I could dedicate an entire show to Adam Sandler if I want, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Because quite literally, we would be here from 11 p.m. tonight to 11 p.m. tomorrow night. So instead, I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't get the hate for Adam Sandler. I do think he's done some bad movies, and I do kind of get why people hate him, but I feel like said hate is kind of blown out of proportion. Like, he's a funny guy. He's a funny person. And as far as I'm aware, I could be missing something, but as far as I'm aware, he's never done anything controversial. Maybe a little dated, but not controversial. He's never said anything on par with an Austrian painter. or an orange P word. I can't say the word on YouTube, but we know who we're talking about. That person may or may not become president, and I really hope they don't. Hint, it's a man with an orange face and a massive ego. But anyway, but Adam Sandler, I do still like his movies. And fuck, if we want to, where is it? Okay, it's down here. If we want to talk an Adam Sandler movie I actually really like, Big Daddy. Here's one I really like, and I don't even have kids. Oh wait, what does this say? I love Grown Ups 1 and 2, Chuck and Larry, Pixels, Billy Madison, Waterboy, Happy Gilmore, Click, 51st Dates, Big Daddy, Hotel Transylvania, and Bedtime Stories. All really good ones to me. When I think Adam Sandler, those are the ones I think of. Also, fun story, because Chuck and Larry reminded me. Back when I did the previous installment of this show, which does not exist anymore, he who shall not be named cringed when he saw I got a copy of Chuck and Larry. I think that's why he who shall not be named watches me from a distance now. Probably because of Chuck and Larry. I think that was the tipping point. But, yeah, Adam Sandler. I do like him. I like his movies. I would show my whole collection, but we'd be here all night, so here's Big Daddy to satisfy you. And yes, I do have VHS tapes. Although oh, you have a copy of Chuck and Larry. Please show me sometime. Yeah. Here's the tape if you're curious. Yeah. Well, if you still have that copy on standby. If you don't, no worries. But anyway. But Adam Sandler movies. Those are bad, but I like them. I'm trying... I'll have to look for it, but I'm not sure I have it anymore. No worries. I'm trying my hardest not to pick a certain movie that's in my eyesight right here. I might save that movie for last. But anyway. What's another? Tim Burton's 9. I take it back. I didn't think that one was considered bad until a certain script surfaced. I didn't think Tim Burton's 9 was bad until a certain little script surfaced online. Though this script requires a little bit of context. Look up the Rotten Tomatoes score for 9. I will, but... Booty. Alright, so on Rotten Tomatoes, 9 has a 57% on the tomato meter and 56% audience score. Yeah, that ain't too good. Anyway, though, but where I was going with this. When I first saw 9, I didn't think it was a bad movie. I thought it was a little odd, but I didn't think it was bad. But again, I didn't think it was bad until a certain script had leaked online. Now you might be wondering, what the fuck is the connection between 9 and Thomas the Tank Engine? The Adventures of Thomas. The Adventures of Thomas was a planned theatrical Thomas and Friends film. According to director Shane Acker, who was also involved with 9, the film was eventually canceled after being pushed back several times following Mattel's acquisition of Hit Entertainment. Now, you're probably hearing this and are thinking to yourself right now, wait, Shane Acker and presumably Tim Burton Granted, it was never said if Tim was involved with the Adventures of Thomas or not, but I imagine he would have been. You're probably thinking, wait, the people behind Nine would have done a Thomas movie? Why have I never heard of this? That might be good. Oh boy. The movie begins with a young boy named Johnny and his father escaping London during the Blitz during World War II. They are evacuated to his father's old home situated nearby a railway station. While there, Johnny discovers drawings by his father of engines with faces. One night, Johnny heads down to the station when he is unable to sleep. At the station, he meets Edward and helps to remove a sign which is stuck in his wheels. As a thank you, Edward takes Johnny on a ride through otherworldly caves and waterfalls to the island of Sodor, a fantasy realm run entirely by trains with no people. Yeah, entirely by trains with no people. Sir Topham Hatt doesn't even exist. At Tidmouth Sheds, Johnny meets James, Percy, and Emily, along with new characters Squeak and Puffing Billy. In the corner of the sheds, they find Thomas, who is sitting disused, his coal unlit because he wasn't useful. Johnny reignites his fire, bringing Thomas back to life. Thomas mistakes Johnny for his father, who used to travel with him long ago. Throughout the film, Johnny travels back and forth between Sodor and the real world. He tells his father about his adventures, however he does not believe him, having forgotten all about Sodor until he reunites with Thomas at the end of the movie. In a big, grimy, industrial train city on the other side of Sodor lives a gang of diesels, led by Smoke, who plots to take over the island and smelt all of the steam engines. The diesels begin their ambush by derailing the steam engines and shutting down the coaling plants in the Sodor Mountains. With the steam engines unable to stop them, it is up to Thomas and Johnny to stop the takeover. They journey across parts of the island, meeting other new characters, including Bertha, 4 military boats, 2 of which are a husband and wife couple, and 3 French minecarts who start a resistance against the diesels using underground tunnels. In the climax, there is a relay race between the steam engines and diesel engines. The day is saved by Gordon, who returns after having disappeared during the diesel takeover. The film ends with a shot of Thomas, Johnny, and his father riding off into the sunset. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, you were probably thinking to yourself, oh, the people behind Nine were going to do a Thomas movie? That sounds good. And then you probably just heard the entire plot synopsis that I just read and are probably scared. Let's just say if this movie came out, it would have definitely taken up a majority of this episode. Oh my god. I bet you can see why Mattel canceled this one. Oh boy. Well, anyway, I guess we can use that as a transition into another bad movie that I really enjoy, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, which somehow doesn't sound nearly as bad as The Adventures of Thomas. And this was the movie that actually came out. Your audio is out of sync. It's not out of sync on my end. That's odd. Don't know what's up with the audio. It's fine on my end, but anyway. But yeah, this somehow sounds better than the plot synopsis I just read, but this is a movie that, like, has a shit story, makes no damn coherent sense. Okay, that's good. Anyway, this is a movie that sounds better than the bullshit I just read, but this movie makes no sense, is completely incoherent and illegible. Just, what about Thomas and the Magic Railroad does make sense, but yet, I love it. Why do I love it? Well, the model work, because this was back when the show was still being done with the models, is great in this movie. Sure, Romeo and Juliet. I haven't seen that one. Sure, the model scenes kind of have this weird energy because there's no humans anywhere in the model scenes that are not the live action humans. But the model scenes in this movie look great. The actors, for how actors they are, their performances are pretty good, even if Peter Fonda is fucking miserable in this movie. Insufferably miserable, even. Alec Baldwin just steals the show. It's like every scene Alec Baldwin is in this movie, he's on fucking crack. Garfield Gets Real doesn't even have a critic score. I'm sure I've seen Garfield Gets Real, but I genuinely don't remember anything about it, other than the fact that Garfield got real. Clearly, when he's sitting right there. But yeah, this is another bad one I enjoy. Yeah. By the way, I mentioned Alec Baldwin. Shit. I imagine anything Alec Baldwin is in, things get crazy even on set. You are going to hell. Cat in the Hat. Which, whoever was responsible for the Cat in the Hat movie existing is definitely going to hell, but the Cat in the Hat. Probably the worst Dr. Seuss movie ever, the worst Dr. Seuss adaptation ever, but it's just so much fun. I love Cat in the Hat. I do too. Like, again, it is the worst, and I mean worst, Dr. Seuss, not just worst Cat in the Hat, worst Dr. Seuss adaptation, worst Dr. Seuss movie. But fuck, it is so much fun. It's like Mike Myers, as I said, he's on fucking crack in this movie. The CGI is just weirdly great, but also very dated. The humor is just so not Dr. Seuss, but it's so, so wonderful. The whole Cupcake-inator scene is just a work of art. It's probably the one part of this movie I find insanely, like, the whole thing is quotable, but that scene in particular is just masterclass. You're not just wrong, you're stupid. And you're ugly, just like your mother. God, that whole Cat in the Hat is just amazing. Like, it is the definitive, like, it's probably my favorite bad movie. I'd rather take a crazy bad movie than a mediocre adaptation, Lorax, and the animated Grinch. Thank you. In fact, well, I will say, though, there is one thing I do like about the animated Lorax and animated Grinch. The visuals. Visually speaking, they are gorgeous. In fact, visually speaking, they're very Dr. Seuss. But yeah, they're not great. In fact, even though the Jim Carrey, Ron Howard Grinch is technically the worst of the two, it's the one I prefer. If you say, do you want to watch The Grinch, to me, that's the one I'm picking. Not the Benedict Cumberbatch Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch, any day of the week. Mainly just because I feel Benedict's Grinch is perhaps a little too mellow. Like, no disrespect to Benedict Cumberbatch as an actor, but I just feel he was poorly cast as the Grinch. He doesn't strike me as someone who's hateful or spiteful. He just strikes me as somebody who perhaps is a little rude, but is otherwise fairly chill. Which I guess that's what they were going for, but I don't know. I don't know. It's the same fucking problem that I have with the new Garfield movie that came out this year with Chris Pratt. When I think Garfield, I think laid back, subdued, mellow, lazy. I don't think kind of energetic, upbeat Chris Pratt. I remember the Taste My Nuts app. My God. Taste My Nuts. I love those ads. Oh yeah, but, shit. Kind of messing with my hair at the moment. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like, the Cat in the Hat is, like, probably my favorite bad movie. Horton Hears a Who. Funny thing about that, I have never actually seen anyone say that it's, like, bad. Could just be because I'm not on that side of the internet, at least that side of the internet for that movie. I should turn something on in the background so this isn't totally boring, but could be just because I'm not on that side of the internet, but I haven't seen anyone, I haven't seen people praise Horton Hears a Who, but I also haven't heard, like, hate for it either. I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird, it's weird, it's weird, it's weird, it's weird, it's weird, it's weird. Is it Goblin caught on tape? Shit. Damn it. Wonder After Dark, the only show where we struggle. Okay, there we go. Like what you see? Okay, but I just assumed it wasn't well liked. Well, I guess you wouldn't be entirely wrong, considering... I guess you wouldn't be entirely wrong, because while I don't see any hate for that movie, I also don't see a ton of praise either. Todd Phillips' Joker. I'm probably going to make myself look really stupid. That's most likely where this is about to head. Okay, never mind. I did just make myself look stupid. I forgot who directed Joker, so I was like, Todd Phillips. Like, I've seen Joker. I have Joker over there, but I genuinely forgot who directed it, or who did anything. So that's why I was like, who? So yeah, I did just make myself look like a dummy. Oopsie. So, I'm almost, there's a lot of bad movies that I've seen, but I feel like I've exhausted through most of them, so I'm trying to just think before I move on to anything else. That's a movie that caused a lot of outrage. Oh, yeah. I know. In fact, I remember. Oh, no, no, no. I remember when I first watched Joker. Let me add this additional bit of context. Joker was not a movie I saw in theaters. I wish I did, but I did not. In fact, it was a total blind buy. I knew bits of it. Didn't see it though. Anyway, my mom was perfectly chill. My dad was the uppity one who was like, he's gonna have nightmares after that. Well, I didn't, but make what you want of my dad's little statement there. Make what you want. I got plenty of ammo against my father. He may not be the worst of the worst that I've ever seen, but I've got plenty of ammo. If you want me to do more tricks with my hair, I can. God. Let's forget my Joker phase. I think more accurately, we should be slightly nostalgic for it, but we should still forget it. Like, overall. Like, or more accurately, instead of let's forget the Joker phase, it's let's be nostalgic in a humorous sense for it, but let's also hope that you don't relapse back to it. I thought that burp was going to be way louder. Okay. Something I'm really good at is burping on camera. Okay, way too close. I can get closer. Oh, it is 11:40. Brightburn. I haven't seen it. I have not seen Brightburn. Wow, a movie Jess hasn't seen. You should be impressed. Yeah, I haven't seen Brightburn. I don't have a joke for that, just haven't seen Brightburn. Tommy Boy, I have seen Tommy Boy, and I did not realize that anyone considered it bad at all. What the hell? Alright, there we go. Ghostbusters 2. Hey, look, I've seen Ghostbusters 2. And hey, look, we can file Ghostbusters 2 under bad movie that I really enjoy. Although really I wouldn't call it bad in the literal sense. I would call it bad in the sense that it's just a lazy retread of the first movie. A bunch of dorks hunt ghosts and nobody believes them until they believe them. It literally is just the first movie repeated. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just, it's not even Ghost, but the first two Thor movies. I actually really like Thor 1. I could give less of a rat's tit about Ghost. Let me try it again. I actually really like Thor 1. I could give less of a rat's tit about Thor the Dark World. Ragnarok is definitively my favorite. And I'm one of those fucking nutcases that really liked Thor Love and Thunder, despite the fact that it was Thor Love and Thunder. And if you think that is a really nutty opinion, my mom really liked it. And she was kind of disappointed when she heard that Taika ain't directing Thor 5. Now I want to see a Thor movie where he fights guys. Same, so that was a complete, like, accidental slip of the tongue, but now I want it. Yep, that's I feel like I'm bone dry on thoughts. yawns cutely. um, I've seen Ghostbusters 2016, but I forgot everything about it. Like, genuinely, every little thing that happened in that movie, I just forgot. I forgot. I Sure. Sure, you aren't saying that purely because you, like, I can't play Virtual Insanity because of copyright, but sure, you aren't saying that. I would have played the little bit of Virtual Insanity there, but copyright. Okay, but, my mind is just going blank. Blank. I can't name much more. Neither can I, so I guess we're done with this segment. I guess we're done with this part of the episode, even though it's the namesake of this episode. So, let me think. I don't want to end this quite yet, but I also feel like this episode is winding down. So it's time for Random Animal Minute. Welcome to Random Animal Minute. He was eeping, but I woke him up for your amusement. Look at this little shit. Just look at this little fucking shithead. It's a pig. Yep, it's a pig. This is a little piggy. He stinks. He's been swimming around in the mud all day. It's a little piggy. Ooga booga boo. Ooh. Okay, the piggy's gonna go back to bed. The piggy is gonna go back to bed. Especially because it kind of... Castle. Motherfucker. Castle. Fuck off. Okay. Put this back on the shelf. To the best of my ability. Alright. Okay, since I'm completely bone dry on ideas at the moment, oh, what does it say? Ramble about something random. Thank you. I was actually about to ask if you would like something random. Okay. I'll do that, but let me put Whippy Whipson away. Let me just put this back on the shelf and I will get to rambling about something random. Alright, but ramble about something random. Okay, I can do that all night. I mean, I can't really literally do it all night, but here's a random rambling for you. Alright. How often, I guess before I get to this little rambling, how often do you say to yourself, you want to do something, or you think you would look good doing something, or you think you'd be good at something, and then you kind of start to doubt yourself? Serious question when I ask that. I'll wait for you to answer before I continue on with the rambling. Occasionally. Okay, I bring that up because something that, I wouldn't say bothers me at all, but something that does have me like that, clothes. Yes, I know it's pretty ironic given what I look like right now. I mean, Jesus, I look like a drug dealer who smoked too much alcohol, but something that gets me like that is clothes. Like, sometimes I go out of the house and I'm like, yeah, I look good. And then other times I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, this looks like shit. Something that bothers me is when my mom, when we're going out and my mom says, you know, get shit that matches, and I do that, but then it doesn't necessarily match, and then whatever she tells me to put on instead matches even less. It's like, oh, gray pants, gray shirt, I should be good. But then no, it's like black shirt, black pants that aren't even like the same shade of black, and I'm like, the fuck? Hello? Oh, and then of course, I guess for a bit of context, even though this show only has one regular viewer, think of this show as a bar. I'm the bartender, you're the regular. Anyway, I guess even though this show only has one regular viewer at a time, I guess I'll provide a bit of context. Yes, I do present myself as male. I am a biological male, but I do personally identify as female. I'm fine with most pronouns, you know, call me he, him, I'm fine with it. Call me she, her, very fine with it, they, them, whatever, but I identify as female, okay? But every time I think to myself, like, would I look good, you know, dressing more feminine? I think to myself, maybe I would, but then other times I'm like, no. Like, I enter this, like, weird state. Where's your... Shut up. Wonder After Dark, the only show that dissolves into chaos. But still, like, I think that to myself, and I'm like, maybe I would, but then other times I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I don't know, it's hard to describe. But I think you get where I'm going with that. I think you get what I'm conveying. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But I think that makes pretty good sense. Again, very minor thing, but just something that just gets me. Assuming that did not just sound like complete gibberish. Okay. I need to know how serious that statement is. That statement that you just said, audience, I need to know how serious you are. Because that could go in either direction. Kinda serious. I will not share this photo that I just took, but I'm just saving that for future reference. Just for future reference, but kind of serious. Noted. But yeah, you get where I'm going with that. I guess another thing, not really related, but another thing that gets me in my life, routine. As somebody who doesn't like repetition, I still find myself trying to live somewhat of a routine. I like to do things in a certain order. Or if not a certain order, there are just certain things I like to do. Nice teaser. What's it a teaser for? I can't say, but nice teaser. Anyway, where I was going though. Another thing that kind of gets me in life, though not really related, even though I don't really like repetition, unless it's like YouTube poop edit funny repetition, like like funny repetition, I still try and like to live kind of a routine. Or if not a routine, there are just certain things I like to do in a certain order or in general. Something that I do every day, and I really don't know why, I can't explain it, but something I do every day is I make the bed after I get up. Okay, that makes sense. But then I have to surround myself with miscellaneous items on the bed. I'm. Jesus. Fuck. Anyway, but. Anyway, but then something I do is I have to surround myself with miscellaneous items on my bed. I don't know why I do it, can't explain it, it's just something I do. And I don't like doing it too late in the day. But the problem is, something that's kind of crept its way into my routine of doing this is spending a bit of time in the living room. Not because I like my family particularly, but it's just something I do. I just finished season 3 of The Bear with my mom. She was very annoyed at the cliffhanger ending. uh, I was too, but I was dying at her reaction. But, yeah. And another thing. Jesus Christ. And another thing that I do kind of in the routine is not only. Okay. Sorry for the interruption there, but it's midnight. I would say the funny image right away, but I need to get the image. Okay, yep, that's the one that I'm sending. Okay, can't get that off the screen, so the funny image. Anyway, but where I was going. But another thing I like to do in my life, again, really hard to explain, is right before I go to bed, I like to flip through the channel guide on Hulu. Okay, Cornholio. Something I like to do on Hulu Live is right before I go to bed, right before I go to sleep, turn everything off except the TV, is I just flip through the channel guide for a bit there, and then I go to sleep. I don't know why I do, I just do. But I try to make my life a nice little routine, which of course means that vacations are slightly triggering for me. I don't mean upsetting, just yeah. But yeah. Um, what other, I'm trying to think, what other random things can I ramble about? We're at 61 minutes. Okay. Trying to think what else. This just occurred to me. Not what I was going to say originally, but this did just occur to me. I'm having a little bit of a dilemma at the moment. It's not a bad dilemma, but it's a dilemma regardless. So, lately I've been in addition to new videos I've been making on the channel that will remain nameless, not because of any reason in particular, it's just you never know if I might change the name or anything, so I'm trying to future-proof. But in addition to new videos I've been making, I've also been re-releasing and re-uploading a couple of old videos. Anyway, a bit of a dilemma that I'm dealing with at the moment. Or kind of a dilemma that I'm stuck with at the moment. There's a few videos that I do want to bring back, but they feature he who shall not be named, his actual voice. So I'm kind of stuck at the moment. Do I bring those videos back as is, with his parts intact? Do I cut the scenes featuring him all together? Or do I potentially redub with a new voice? It was all voiceover for context. Just something I've been kind of struggling with at the moment. Cut the scenes featuring him. That's probably what I'll end up doing, but the second thing I've been considering, again, I don't know if this I'll end up doing, but what I've been considering is keeping the scenes but replacing the audio. So, because for context, they're just mere audio files that I place over the raw footage. So I'm thinking potentially option 2 would be asking somebody else I know, hey, do you want to, do some voiceover for these old videos? And if they say yes, I can just take that audio, delete it, replace with the new audio, new voice. But again, I might do that, I might not. It really just depends. I feel like cutting the scenes would be the easier solution, but you never know. So I guess there's a little video editing dilemma. So yeah. Not really a vent, not really a rant, just a little dilemma. By the way, forgot to pitch my VR. Oops. I mean, I guess you can pitch them now, if you want. You got plenty of time. I mean, you don't have a fuck ton of time. Okay. Excuse me. Alright. So I want to... Okay. So I want to make a VR game where you're playing as a Transformer, battling Decepticons, and you run out, and you run and shoot as normal, but if you get on your knees and put your hands on the ground, an animation plays where you transform into a car or other vehicle, and then you stand up and turn back to gunner mode. Okay. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of shocked reading... Now that I read that, I'm kind of shocked that Hasbro has never thought of that. Because when I think Transformers VR game, hell, Transformers video game, that seems like a given. Like, I don't know, just reading that, I'm just shocked that that was never done. I mean, maybe someday Hasbro will be watching this and end up stealing the idea and claim that it's their own. It just seems likely. After all, I did, on the version of this show that totally doesn't exist, I did kind of give a little rant about why YouTube video premieres kind of bother me, even if they're ultimately harmless, and then a certain channel stopped doing those video premieres. Even though it wasn't necessarily directed at the channel themselves, it was more so aimed in general. I still feel like I contributed. If I did contribute, I apologize. Okay, but... it feels so much later than just 12 a.m. So, it would be the ultimate exercise. True, but it would at least be fun but tacky exercise. You know, fun but tacky. Had something on my lip. Alright. I'm almost out of ideas. So, trying to think. I mean, yeah, that is true. Also, fun. I guess that reminds me. I don't really have. I've never played like true VR gaming. I mean, I've had experience with virtual reality, like, well, okay. When I say I've had experience with virtual reality, no, I don't mean like the PlayStation VR or the Oculus or the Meta or the whatever. No, I mean cheap little gimmicky VR toys, like the Viewmaster 3D from a couple of years ago that was the hit toy for the Christmas season, and then pretty much come January was immediately forgotten about. And then soon after, the iPhone app was delisted. And the sad thing is, I still have that stupid fucking thing around here somewhere. I don't have the app, but I still have the headset itself. But, yeah. If you are also thinking of the Viewmaster 3D, then that is what I'm talking about. If you're not thinking of that, you're probably thinking of the Google Cardboard, whatever it's called. The Google Cardboard, whatever it's called. That one image of Barnacle Boy. The Google Cardboard, whatever it's called. Okay, yeah, so you're probably thinking of what I'm thinking of. I think. I would assume. I don't know for certain, but I think so. Okay, Okay, 12:11 I'm probably going to wrap this up within the next couple of minutes. Thomas VR. Funny you say that, because the Thomas Roblox fan game community just pops off. Unfortunately, said community is ruled by somebody named Speedy Skips, and if you don't know who that is, consider yourself lucky. It's a whole rabbit hole. I'm not going to get into it here. It's a mess. It's a mess. So, you know, not to totally change the subject, but I just saw my VHS of Ants up there, and God, ever since somebody said the character from that movie looks like Cillian Murphy, that movie's just been ruined for me. Skibbity Riz Dog. I would go get the pig, because you said Skibbity, but I don't want to get the skin ripped off of my hands, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, is there anything you would like to see on this episode between now and 12:20 a.m. my time? Or 11:20 a.m. or whatever. Is there anything you'd like to see over the next 15 to 20 minutes? Because I'm kind of bone dry on thoughts. You're just... I mean... I can't show it on YouTube, but... I'm gonna stop that joke there. I think that practically is the punchline. Anything that is YouTube suitable you would like to see for the next 15 to 20 minutes. Anything at all, because I can't thinky, audience. I know thinky. Kagan. Jesus Christ. I mean, you're not wrong. Not condoning it, but you're not wrong. Not okay, but not wrong. You know what? Fuck it. Right answers only. What is that animal in the background that I'm pointing at? Right answers only. What? Right answers only. What is that animal? You would be correct. That is a penguin. Albeit it's one of those weird four-legged penguins, but you would still be correct. Okay. Feels like so much more time has passed. Tangle and Rainbow Dash. Two very delightful characters, I must say. I mean, shit. We love lemurs. We love ponies. They're both based. Both Tangles, indeed. Okay. Alright, I seriously am running out of ideas. Alright. I seriously am almost out of ideas, so... It's boring without other people. I do apologize for the lack of other people. I will try, keyword try, to get other members for future episodes. I can't guarantee that I will, but I will try. Even if it's only like 2 others, I'll still try. But, at least you seem to be having some degree of fun. That's all that matters. As long as you're having fun watching this madness, then I'll keep doing the madness for your amusement. Especially because I didn't expect you to like this madness, but I'm glad you do. Really, if anybody likes the content that I create, then I'm happy doing the content. There's something kind of wholesome. It's better than, yeah, see? It's better than being alone, knowing my sisters rarely want to talk to me. See? There's a positive. Even though this... You know what? I guess we'll end the episode with this. While yes, it is admittedly a little boring to do a internet live stream show to only one viewer every night, in a weird way, I kind of like the simplicity of it. Sure, it's not as fun as having a whole audience to engage and interact with, but I do kind of like the one-on-one nature of it. Because it feels like you're just talking to one of your friends about the things you like, and your friend then feeds off of that. Even if that feeding off of is extremely racy humor. But it's fun. And plus, again, as long as you're happy, I'm happy. And I assume that as long as I'm happy, you're happy. I do not mean this in the gayest of sense, but... and that's all that ever matters. I don't know. Okay. It is 12:18 a.m. We are at 77 minutes. Pony love. I love ponies. We are at 77 minutes. I think I'm going to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. Could be more, could be less. So, is there anything you would like to see over the next 5 to 10 minutes? Because if not, I might just barrel headfirst into the end of the episode. Excuse me. Oh yeah, serious answers only. Staring contest. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop there because my eyes are starting to hurt. Okay. My eyes are starting to hurt. I couldn't keep them open that long. Couldn't stay in the same position for that long. I lost, but I did start early. Okay, so we're both losers at the end of the day. Okay, tomorrow is the 4th of July, Independence Day. Is there anything... Well, actually, before I say it, let me rephrase that. Tomorrow is the 4th of July, Independence Day, followed by the glorious, glorious weekend. So, is there anything... I'm now taking suggestions for the next 2 to 3 episodes of this show. So, I'm not super American, I'm more Mobian. So am I. But anyway. But I'm taking suggestions for the next 3 episodes. So, the July 4th, 5th, and 6th episodes, what would you like to see? I will write them down on the schedule accordingly. President's Day. Okay, well that's already on the schedule, so what would you like to see for July 5th and 6th? I know you probably don't think that far ahead, but it's still worth asking. But yeah, taking suggestions for the July 5th and 6th episodes. Slender Man, okay. I assume you mean the movie, so that would be July 5th. Alright, lastly, July 6th. What should we do on that one? So the July 6th episode. Saturday, July 6th. Humans. Okay. I can't guarantee that I will watch Human Centipede just because of its content, but I'm still going to put it here as a placeholder. Just in the event. Okay, so we got two more. Why does it sound like the FNAF 2 office in your room? Hello? Hello, hello? I should somehow get a hold of Scott Cawthon one of these days and have him just chill off to the side the whole time. And then the minute a FNAF joke is made, I should bring him out. I should just do that one of these days. Okay, but it is 12:23 a.m. We are at 82 minutes. We have exhausted through pretty much all of our material. Here's your script. Here's your script. Silence close to the conditioning. Then say hello, hello, and some. Yes, I will remember that. All right, but that's enough for tonight. It is 12:23 a.m. We have just hit 83 minutes. I think we're done here for tonight. So, do it. If I ever get a hold of Scott Cawthon, I'll do it. Fuck it. I'm not Scott, but whatever. I know I'm probably butchering the interpretation, but I'm just doing it. Hello? Hello, hello? Cock. I know I probably just misinterpreted the directions given to me, but whatever. Alright. 12:24 a.m. We are at almost 84 minutes. I think we're done for tonight. You're welcome. Alright. 84 minutes. Yeah, I think we're done for tonight. So, before I wrap up tonight's episode of the show, I do apologize. I probably should have apologized after episode 2, but before we go, I do apologize if the show is perhaps a little boring with a single audience member. I will try to get other people to watch, if available. I can't guarantee that they will, but I will try. It depends on their time and their availability. Just remember that. But before we go, I guess I'll leave you off with this. Just know that I'm fine. Even if I'm kind of a depressed single dork, I still am doing this show for someone who clearly is invested in it, and that person seems to be happy. And as long as they're happy, I'm happy. I would continue on with more wholesomeness, but that's unfortunately all the time we have for tonight. So, remember, God made you special, and He loves you very much. Good night, and have a day.